Hey everybody, welcome to the Love Your Body podcast. On today's episode, we have a long-term client of mine and friend, Kelley Jeanne.
Hello.
I'm so excited to have you. This is awesome. First time here at the house, checking it out. What do you think?
It's amazing. Beautiful. I'm moving in tomorrow. It's happening. Actually, I'm wearing slippers right now just because it's now my house too.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can go in the front, the Airbnb, just chill, whatever. Work out the LYB.
Back here. No. No, we're roommates now, okay?
Oh my gosh. If only you saw my bedroom is kind of small. I didn't show you that room, but
this is nice though. Couches are my thing.
Hey, I will tell you, my client Ashley I literally remember sitting there training, and my mom was like, "Which couch do you want?" She's like, "I have to know now," because I gave her my card to go pick it up, and I was like, "Ashley, pick the couch." I don't know, so she picked this couch, and it has been the best investment.
Yes,
because I never knew how expensive couches were. And this was the best purchase that we did for the house.
It was Ashley. Ashley, you did wonderful. Yeah. I mean, this is very comfortable right now.
It's a vibe.
I can literally sleep in this little thing.
And who would have known we were doing the podcast here?
It was perfect.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so tell everybody just a little bit about, what you do and everything like that.
Okay.
And then we'll go through kind of how we met and stuff.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know you do so much.
No. I am a singer-songwriter.
Yes.
Here in Nashville. So I am doing all that. But I also, before I even started the whole singing songwriting journey, I have my degree from Pittsburgh in chemistry, mechanical engineering, all this fun stuff.
Cool.
Yes,
so badass.
Math. I love math and science. It's just how my brain.
Not my thing. But
I thought I hated it. I think it all depends on your teachers, because in high school, could not do math for the life of me. Once I got to Pitt, I had this amazing calc professor who just showed me everything, and it just was so understanding that it just clicked for me. Sometimes things just have to click. So I did all that at Pitt. I got my degree, and now I work at Vanderbilt in their mechanical engineering department.
That's so awesome.
I assist with a lot of their research. They have graduate students there, and they're doing amazing work in the robotics and autonomous systems laboratory. It's really cool, and I really support their research, and it's kind of awesome because I get to do these two things that make me happy at the same time.
So let me ask you that. So when did you move to Tennessee, and why? Was it just because you're like Nashville music, or what was it?
Yeah, Nashville music. Okay. And I moved here at the very end of 2019. So COVID wasn't even a thing.
Right.
I moved here just for music. I was not doing anything engineering. I was just doing music full time, and it was great. I moved here with my band.
Right.
5 boys in a house. Oh my God.
That's
5 boys and me. I
feel still live in the house together?
I still live in that house.
Okay.
And Chase, who has been a member of the band forever, and he's my best friend, he is still there. Yes. The other band, it just didn't work out. They're great.
Yeah.
They're wonderful musicians. But I think the whole COVID thing, I was going on the road a lot, just Chase and I acoustically.
Okay.
And I think it got to the point where it was kind of it just didn't work out.
Okay. Was it?
We'll save this for after hours episode.
Okay. Yeah. For the Patreon. So if y'all subscribe, we'll talk more in depth about that. So because it was the end of 2019. So so here's my thing. You lived in the house, which is in Nashville. Okay.
Yes.
How did you find me? Because you started training in Franklin with me.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it through an app, or was it through or how did you?
I think it was Instagram. Social media. I've always loved social media, and I've just scrolling everybody. You popped up, and I was like, I love this vibe. I love this energy, because when I was in Pittsburgh, I lost 120 pounds.
Remember that? Yes.
So
amazing.
It was definitely, fitness was such a journey for me, but I found my fitness community in Pittsburgh. So when I moved down here, it was kind of there was no one.
Yeah.
It was just me, a lot of hot chicken.
Yeah.
So let's be for real, a lot of good food.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, I just needed to find a person, and you came at the perfect time. Honestly, up on my feed, and I found you, great vibe, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm. So I remember, so for those that don't know, so I was training in Franklin at that time, 2019. And I was also, I want to say I did have the Nashville location. And so I was going back and forth. So some days were Franklin, some days were Nashville. Didn't know how that was going to work out. It was really stressful. And then COVID happened. So then both of them were closed for a couple months. And so I had to do stuff virtually from my house. So I did that. And then I was that allowed me to let go of the Franklin studio. And so then that was when, I think it was like June of 2020. And I was like, okay, we're going full fledged all in Nashville. And so you started coming there, which was awesome. But I do want to backtrack for a second. So were you like, when you grew up, did you have like a healthy lifestyle mindset, or was it like y'all, like you were very unhealthy in Pittsburgh? That's where you had put on your weight. And then then you just decided if you were going to do like music, you wanted to feel your best. Like, what was that like?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. So when I was I come from a military family, so we moved around a lot as a kiddo, and it's not that I didn't come from a healthy lifestyle. Like I was always in sports and all of that.
What'd you play or what'd you do?
Swimming. I swam a lot.
Nice.
So
Okay.
yeah, my whole family swam. We were always on the go. But I wasn't I feel like I was athletic, and now that's what I would consider like athletic, like body type, right? When I was a kiddo, but I wasn't like the super thin, like, so it wasn't that I was out of shape, but I would get comments from people like, oh, like if you were thinner, you'd probably do better. Like if you were this, it would probably be better. Yeah. So like even then I wasn't like the thinnest of people. I was like athletic, but when I went to Pitt, when I was doing this engineering, I wasn't singing at the time. I was just totally there for engineering. I did, and I was also doing a little bit of I wanted to be in the Navy. So something that my dad did. Okay. So it was always a little bit of a struggle because in the Navy you have to make weight, right?
Yeah. I've actually trained some people for that.
Yes. So you have to make weight. So I always did, right? But it was always like in a very unhealthy way, right? Like I knew that this weigh-in was coming up and there was no carbs for 2 weeks. Yeah. Really, so it was so not the healthiest of ways, but it was okay. Like it wasn't really put on weight. But then the Navy thing, I have this extra hole in my kidney. So then the Navy, I couldn't do it anymore. Oh. So it was something that was like a little bit devastating to me. And that was the Navy was the reason why I was really athletic during college too, because like it gave me, I had to. Mm-hmm.
So was it that you were going to go to school for 4 years and then you would go into the Navy after?
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, that's
okay,
what
so
I was
that was the
do.
plan. Yeah. How did you find out about the hole in your kidney?
They do physicals. Okay. So the doctor was just like, oh, I always had kidney issues. And then I started getting really sick and I would get these kidney infections. And I was like, this is weird. But then when I went to this physical for the Navy, I was like, I have this extra hole in my kidney that is actually functioning. A lot of people have it. Yeah, but so things go backwards and forwards. So TMI. No, things go backwards and forwards. Yeah. And it causes like a little infection. And the Navy's like, this can't be a thing. Okay. Yeah.
So, but that was something you weren't born with? It just happened?
No, I was born with it. It's like a whole thing. Yeah. And it doesn't cause me issues. And actually I haven't had an issue with it for a long time. Okay. But it's something that could just like pop up at any point. Yeah. You never know. Okay. But it's not like a big issue or a big thing. But in that moment when this goal of mine was to be in the Navy, was to follow my dad's footsteps, was to make my family proud, and it just wasn't a thing anymore, I took a year off. I was an environmental engineer for a little bit. Then I went back to graduate school at the University of Pittsburgh, and I was planning on getting my master's in mechanical engineering and all of that, and working towards that goal. But I was just stressed out. I wasn't working out. I was sad. Like my whole life path changed, and I was eating a lot.
Right. I got you. Okay.
I am one of those people who eat my emotions. Like if something goes wrong, and I still am, I have to remind myself of that. Like something goes wrong, I love some trashy TV and some good pizza. Like, come on now. Like, that is my go-to love language.
Oh, so, I get that. I think a lot of us struggle with that, with the emotional eating, right?
Yes.
And kind of putting our goals and stuff on the back burner when those things do pop up. But I will say that, especially since you've worked with me and stuff, like I have noticed such a big change in you. Cause like, even from I remember we had texted a few months ago and you're like, I got my meals from NutriShop. And I was like, that's great. And so you're putting the intention out there and setting that goal, which is awesome. And then you've done some challenges of mine and I think did you win or you got second or something?
Yeah, I won something. Yeah. Actually, I don't care what place it was cause it was the best prize ever. Yes. I'm the worst at cooking. Yeah. So I love to go to Clean Eats. I love to go to NutriShop in the Gulch and shout out NutriShop in the Gulch.
Yep.
That's for another episode. Sponsor us.
Right, like they would.
But oh my gosh. You think this is for the Patreon episode, and we'll save it for that. We're canceled.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yes, it was the best thing ever because I got I don't know, $250 to Clean Eats.
Yes.
And I was like, heck yes.
Yeah, shout out to Will.
Weeks of food.
He's so great
yes.
for sponsoring that challenge.
I love him.
But yeah, and that was so awesome. But again, you really did. I mean, you were so intentional with everything. It wasn't about weight loss, the weight loss or anything like that. It was just like, you were like, I'm just going to have these consistent goals, stay focused. And that was awesome. So I love watching you, continually grow in that. So let me ask you this. So then when you were, growing up and everything like that, do you have siblings or no?
I do. Yes. I have a brother and 2 sisters.
Okay. I knew there's 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So you have a brother too. Are you in the middle? Are you older?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
We're all a year apart.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we're all very close in age. So when we were younger, it was like a madhouse. I actually feel awful for my mother. To be honest, I feel so bad.
A lot.
One, I don't know how she did it. Like 4 of us,
and then your dad was off to the,
he was at points. He was overseas too. So and my mom was living over. I was born in Italy. So I was born in Italy, and this was her first pregnancy. She was all by herself with little old me. And I think I was a nightmare, honestly, as a baby. At least that's what she tells me. I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's
thanks,
because,
Mom. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out, Mom. I was a nightmare, but that's what she told me. I was an awful baby. So
well, you just made it hardest for her, so it got easier for the rest of them.
I'm sure it did. Yeah, I was teaching her a lesson. Okay,
right, exactly. So then, how old were you when you moved to the States? Were you just
I was super young. I don't even remember.
Okay.
So I don't remember Italy at all. We moved to Texas. That's where my brother and sister were born.
Okay.
Then my youngest sister was born in upstate New York.
Oh, yeah.
And that is where my whole extended family is. So that's where my parents are from.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we moved to Maryland. Then I went to Pitt. And I consider Pittsburgh home.
That's what I was going to say. That's what you've always said. So that's why, gotcha.
Pittsburgh is home because that's where I was the longest. And I feel like I learned a lot of life in Pittsburgh. That's where I really kind of became who I am. And I feel like I'm still evolving as a person, but
for sure.
I a lot of fundamentals there.
Right. Did you, is your game plan, would you ever want to live back, move back there? Or do you like being in Nashville or?
I do. Okay. This is I do not want to move back to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
But I do love visiting and I love all of our friends there.
And y'all play gigs still there,
yeah,
right?
we do a ton.
Right.
Yeah. And
how far is the drive? Because sometimes I'm literally where are you at? Some weekends I'm you're in Pittsburgh, then you're in Nashville, then you're in Pittsburgh, you're in Nashville, all these different things.
It's 9 hours, 9.5 hours.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
Oh,
I don't
not too bad.
No,
I'm
love
not
it.
even for that.
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely not. I used to do that with strongman stuff. We drive, but I think the longest was when I went to Iowa at one time and drove up there, which I don't even know how long that took. Yeah. But it was just I don't want to do this again.
No,
you know what I mean?
Love it. Maybe it's because of how I grew up and we were never really in one spot, for super duper long. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were in some, for extended time. It wasn't as much as some military kiddos who moved around a ton.
Right.
So I don't want to discount that, but I just love traveling. I love seeing new places.
Yeah.
I love being in little towns. I love stopping. I make the road trips so much longer than they have to be too. I'm always I'm one of those people who stop and don't get if there's a Buc-ee's, we're going in.
Oh my gosh. I was about to say you and Buc-ee's, or also if you see some cows on the side of the road.
Yes.
Let's go stop and pet the cows.
I love cows.
It's so funny. I think that's hilarious. I think that with you and even with your following and stuff, a lot of people know that about you, which is hilarious to me.
I am just so it's so weird because I'm very Italian and I grew up that way. My mom, we were always like eating Sunday dinner, you know, meatballs, all of it. But now I don't eat beef.
Right.
Just because I love cows so much. I feel awful. I don't know when it started. I think it started when I was coming from Pittsburgh to Nashville a lot.
Okay.
Like when I was still living in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Before I decided to move down here, I was making that drive like every other week. And for the safety of everyone, I'm an awful driver. Like,
oh yeah,
so bad.
I know, I am too.
You agreed way too fast.
You would come in a session and be like, oh, something hit my window or something whatever, and I was just like, bruh, are you kidding me?
I know, I'm an awful driver, so I was like, I just need to move down to Pittsburgh for the safety of everyone. I need to move down here. But before I moved down here, I was driving so much.
Yeah.
I saw all these cows and I was like, oh, they're so cute. They're like grass puppies to me. They're so adorable. Then I learned more about them. Like they hold grudges for life. They have best friends. They're motivated by food.
I'm so sorry. The cows.
Yes, cows hold grudges. Yes,
for life.
They have clicks and everything. Yes, they. I'm like, these are basically my spirit animal. This is basically me. I am a cow. I can't eat my spirit animal.
I love that so much because and when we would talk about stuff, you're like, who do I need to like, okay, whose tires do I need to slash? And I'm like, okay, like, so I may have forgiven you, but Kelley has not.
I have not.
So
no.
all the guys, like,
yes, there's
just know
a list.
she knows. Like,
yeah, we shouldn't be letting now the cops will come for me.
no. I'm sorry, Kelley, somebody else. No,
Kelley,
it's not
who?
Kelley.
No, what?
No, that's so wild. I love that though, because again, you know, you're just like, you're so kind-hearted and you know, it's so funny because you do have that side of you where it's like, it's, you know, you will like mess somebody up, but then you're also like, I love these cows. I love like bringing joy to people.
No,
like,
yes, I know. People ask me to like, I was at Froggy Radio recently and we did like a country, the 12 bands of Christmas. And they're so amazing to me, especially like up in Pittsburgh. They like play my music all the time. They're going to probably play stuff soon. So I'm excited for that. But he was like, it's so funny because your songs are one thing. And then you come in here.
Yeah, totally
like,
different.
Yeah. It's just like a totally different vibe. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I didn't even think that was a thing. But yeah, that's something that I don't think I'm two different people.
No.
That sounds psycho, right? Like
no.
but I mean, I do feel like a different person when I'm on stage than I am in real life.
But that's a performer.
Yeah.
Though. I feel like the best performers, you talk to actors and stuff and people are always like, they're so different in real life. And then like, you know, when they're on stage and stuff, and cause you have to be, and cause it is that, you know, the audience needs a lot from you. There's high energy. There's so many things that like, and that's like, even with Move Fit, cause you've been a Move Fit, like, you know, and people will just be like, dang, like, and then they think that like, sometimes they're like, is that how you train people? And I'm like, no, like when I'm training, it's completely different.
No, she's awful. Like, she's so mean. Like she will make you cry. Just kidding.
I'll make you lift weight and like see results.
Yes,
and like
100%. That's what she like. She will kill you, and it will be wonderful at the same time.
Yes, exactly. So it's, you know, it's good. But no, but like it is that funny thing that people don't really expect it when they see Move Fit. And they're like, oh, like we turning up. And I'm like, exactly. So there's a time and a place for that. And like I went to your show, to one of them that you did, just like the Songwriters Night, you know, and Nikki was there and stuff. And it's hilarious because everyone like, you know, when you're listening and watching, like, I mean, I don't critique music because I don't know, you know, the best, whatever. But it was one of those things where I was, you know, I'm just sitting here like looking at the audience and stuff, and they're listening to you and they're just like, yeah, but they're also kind of like scared. Like the men, there were so many dudes there, right? And it was hilarious because they're like, all right. And then all the women are like, yes. Like, so it was cool to see like the approval of like the, you know, like the lyrics
that, like,
and everything.
It literally makes a whole life. Like it makes me so happy if I can connect with a person, right? Or connect through my music that someone has an emotional feeling. Cause that's what music is for me. Like some of my favorite artists, I'll be blasting them because I have that emotional connection with them.
Well, and I've never heard anything like your stuff either.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
Well, but seriously, cause like, you know, and I have other singers that I train as well, and they're all very unique in their you know, style too. But you know, when you had said before that you sing, you know, you just kind of think this mindset of like, oh, country, like whatever, you know, and then to hear it, and then to also hear it like, you know, online obviously, but to hear it, cause you're streaming on certain, like, right, on Spotify.
On Spotify,
So you can, you know, so you can listen there, but to hear it in real life, it was just so, I don't know, just so different and so cool. So I
appreciate that. No, I love writing. I feel like I write from a place. I try to be very authentic because I feel like people can see through that, right? Like 100%. I would love to write about being on a farm and owning all these cows and living that life because dream, right? That's my dream life. But that's just not who I am. So I can't, like, people would know, like, oh, this is just so fake, right? Like, this girl has no freaking clue. Like, she used Chat GPT or something to write this song.
Do you find that a lot of singers, like, that you have connected with here in Nashville, like, are they also songwriters, or do you feel like you're kind of a niche in that? Because I have a client who sings, but she's the one you met, Nikki, but she's more of a songwriter. That's what she wants to do. And then I have Megan, who is a singer. Now she writes her own songs too, but she's like, does other people's songs.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
So like, do you only want to sing your own songs?
No, I would sing whatever people brought to me, right? Like if it's a good song, if I connect with it, right? As long as I connect with it. I definitely love writing, and I have written for other people too. Just because I feel that is a passion of mine. Right. But no, the circle that I'm in, I usually meet like a lot of singer-songwriters who have written for other people. And I like Nikki too. I love her, and like being able to be in that round with her too was a lot of fun. But I have met some people, not as many, because I feel like most people in most people that I've met in Nashville want to do both, right? Singing, songwriting, and but I have met a couple people who just write, and it's like they're amazing writers. And I'm like, dang, let's write together, like rub off on me.
For sure. No, I have another client, Georgia, who I should connect you with, but she's in California, but she comes here monthly, and so she'll do like rights and stuff. And so that's really cool to hear all about her different experiences and stuff like that.
Oh, so fun. Where in California?
I should know that.
The only reason I asked, and maybe we shouldn't drop where she is.
No,
you know, her exact address, please.
Right.
No, I'm going to San Diego. I leave next week.
Oh, that's
to go
exciting.
To San Diego. I'm so excited.
Okay, for what? Like, can you tell?
Oh, I have a conference. It's nothing like super duper exciting. I'm just going to a conference, and then I am going to take an extra couple of days to myself and go to Joshua Tree. It's a lot of cacti in the desert. It's basically a desert. And if you know me, in California, if you know me, it is cows and cactus are my thing. I love them so much, like plants, like all of it. Like it's so crazy, but that's just who I am as a person.
So is anybody going with you?
No, just me.
Oh, how nice. I
know.
that.
I'm excited. It's just me, and I'm taking my guitar, and we're just going to like be hopefully inspired.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I just got back from New York, and so that was awesome. But it definitely was a whirlwind of stuff, because it was like I was so creative, I was so excited. Like I felt like, I don't know, like that was my energy. That energy that's there when people are like, oh, it's just so whatever. I'm like, that's my energy. I feel like that's yours.
It from fight.
But
fight energy.
From fight, as well. But it's just like that natural, like, and it's hard because when I come back here, it almost is like, I don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying?
But it's into it.
Well, you have to tap into it. It's not as readily in the air, right? And you just feel kind of like, okay, so like, I guess I'll make these things happen. But like, so when I was there, I was just like, this is awesome. Like, let's do all the things. But it was jam-packed. Yeah. Like, we literally had an hour and a half in between me getting my hair and makeup done to like me going on stage, like to walk. To go to the Empire State Building.
Yes.
So me and Mom, I saw that. I was like, Mom, put your shoes on. Let's go.
I know, she was along for the ride. Dude, I don't know how you all did it, because it was amazing. It was so fun following along on your stories.
Aww,
like so fun seeing all the cute outfits. Let's be for real. I was like, dang, look at those sparkles.
I know. I was so happy. I was so excited because I went with the pageant system that I'm sponsoring. So it's Revolutionary Pageants. It's an all-inclusive pageant system. And it's the first here in Tennessee.
Wow, dang,
and so they have reached out to me. And so like, we would love to, and what all-inclusive with the pageant system means, it's not, I know some people were just thinking like, oh, is that like plus size or is that whatever? That's not what this is. This is literally all ages. This is, you can be an MRS. You can be like, it's anything, right? So any age, like, and that's really special because a lot of them, they don't have that.
Yeah,
so at this like runway show, it was an all-inclusive like runway show. So it's called Beauty It's Everywhere. So there was a lady out there who's 67 years old, bodybuilder, kicking ass, like out there, like, walking. And then there was like other like older women that like, and then there was a young girl that was like the youngest, like 5, I think, or 6. Like, so like you had everything, and you had small, large, athletic, whatever, every body size. And it was so cool, and ethnicity and like everything. And, men were there too. So it was just really fun. And it was cool to be a part of it. Cause like as a sponsorship, she literally was like, hey, we're actually going to New York. If you want to come as Miss Love Your Body, like you can come and walk. And I was like, hey, okay.
Who wouldn't say yes to that?
Right?
Heck yeah.
And so that was really cool. And I hadn't been back since like 7 years ago. So it was just like one of those like, I get the importance of the trip. So I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, and we've talked about this before, it's like you feel like you have to be in it. You have to be like the 9 to 5, not 9 to 5, but like 24 hours a day working and doing all these things so that you can't step away. Or when you're traveling, it's just for work, right? And so this was like a fun like balance of like, I was working and representing, but it was like a special trip. And that's where like Mom came into play,
Stop. Yes. I saw your dancing in Times Square. Yeah. And I was like, get it, girl.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
go. I was like, move it in the city.
Right. And I was, I would do it. I mean, there was like a rap video happening right behind us too while we were doing this photo shoot.
I saw that. It was so crazy. It was awesome.
We could throw down so many things. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, definitely in those shoes, I was not doing any type of like actual stuff.
You were moving in those shoes. I don't know. I mean, I could not.
It was really fun, and definitely, it was important to me to be my healthiest. And so I feel like with you too, you're in a good spot of like feeling good in your body and stuff like that, to where you can go do these things and be healthy enough, right?
Yeah.
Versus, hating yourself the whole time you're there.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of women did. And that was something that I had to like kind of help mediate and help like with that, because it's like, we're literally in New York Fashion Week. You're walking. No one cares at this point, like what, if you're, you know what I mean? Like if you're this size or that or whatever, it's just like, you're already here. And that's the same thing I tell clients. It's like, you know, you're here, this workout, nothing matters before that. Like if you ate the cake before you came in, okay. But like,
honestly,
now we're at the
maybe
workout.
a good pre-workout.
Right?
Okay? Like it's going to fuel you. Yeah,
like,
let's go.
Exactly. So it's just one of those things where it's like, all that's irrelevant. Like just be present in this moment. And it was like cool because after talking to the director, she like was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like you were very present. And that was something like that I wanted to have, that kind of feedback, you know? She's like, you didn't complain one time. You just like took it all in. And it was so cool, you know? Like,
I know.
So I know that's going to be like your trip as well. Like you're going to be able to have just a good
I'm
time.
so excited. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all the things.
Follow along.
Yes, for sure. So with that, I know on social media and stuff like that, like, you know, as you're like growing your following and stuff like that, you're getting kind of some like groupies and stuff. Like
a little bit.
Yes.
They call them, a few people call themselves genies or like genie babies.
I love
like
it.
I love it too, because I come from the Beanie Baby generation.
Same,
like
yep.
yes, but we have like a little group now called the Genies, and it's so special. This community that we've made, and like everyone that I've met, there's been like shows, and we've opened up for some really awesome artists recently, like Chapel Heart. We just opened up for. I love them. Robin Aldolini. She was so cool to open up for her, and we were able to meet some amazing fans of theirs that have now like just like they become like a part of the Genies, and it's so cool. And it just makes me feel so special, because social media at one point was such a, I was training with you at the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you remember this time. It was a very bad moment in my life. Mm-hmm. Like one where, I don't know, I like to consider myself a relatively happy person. Everyone has high and lows, right?
For sure.
But when I'm around people, like I just like the energy I want to give off is very like positive, because I don't want to ever, that's my impact on life. I want to leave a little bit of happiness wherever I go.
Yes.
Like I always try to leave like sparkly glitterness, like feeling vibes everywhere. Like that's my goal in life. Like that's what I want, to make people feel better with every interaction with me than they did previously. Yes. And in this period of life for me, I was just barely hanging on. Like, honestly, it was so, I think, you know, but the story behind it for everyone, wasn't really into TikTok at the time. I didn't know. It kind of was just starting, right? Yeah. Just a starting craze. Someone asked me, because they were from that area, to be in a TikTok video with them. And honestly, one of the nicest, he's so nice, right? This is not about him. So nice. I was in the video with him. Mm-hmm. His following, though, his page is all about people being mean to him, right? Or like just being like a little bit haters, right? And he doesn't mind, right? Because the more comments, the better, the everything. Right. But me, I wasn't expecting that. Like I've never experienced that before in my life. And like people telling me to go die, to like kill myself, like these things was so like,
and all those in the video was you singing, right?
All I was doing was singing. And like I understand that you don't have to like me. Everyone doesn't have to. I mean, I think you should, but you don't have to. Okay. You don't have to, but please don't tell me to die or say that you're going to kill me.
Aggressive. Like it's literally so unnecessary.
Oh, it's so unnecessary. I was like, these are probably like 12-year-olds. Like, don't make me go to your single dad, marry him, become your stepmom, and put you in timeout now. Okay, I will. Like, don't make me go through all these steps. So that
you in timeout. More like throw you down to the basement.
I know. I will put you in some timeout now.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It was like, but in that moment, like I can laugh about it now, and I'm gotten to a place where it's like, oh, it's okay. I mean, I still will not look at that video or like comments or anything like that, because I've never experienced that like before in my life. I mean, I haven't experienced all happy people, right? But like never experienced that kind of hatefulness that it just like, I was just in a very dark place that I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to post anything. I just didn't feel like myself for a very long time. And social media, I'm still a little bit, always a little bit worried, but I've gotten to the point where it's like, I'm just going to be myself. And if people don't like it, whatever. Yes. Like you don't have to.
Let me ask you this. How old were you when that happened? Were you 30? What?
Well, I mean, age shopping right now?
Yes. Just for the listeners, they know.
I think, it was, when was it? 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah. 30.
30-ish. Okay. So,
30.
So, just for people that are listening that, especially like younger listeners and stuff like that, because I know like, and even my like in their 20s, like they still struggle with that, a lot. And I remember like when my video went viral, people were like, how do you deal with the hundreds of thousands of comments that are like negative? And I'm like any other day, because for me though, I came from verbally abuse like to my face. You know what I'm saying? Like for most of my life.
Yeah.
So I was used to it. Everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Love Your Body podcast. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel. Also subscribe to the Patreon. So Dandy After Dark, where you can see exclusive episodes as well as get discounts on Fight Energy, training with me, all the fun things. It's a great safe community to be able to speak your mind and talk to people and, just have that safe space. Also, if you're looking to do one-on-one training or food accountability coaching, you can always reach out to me at danny@dandyfitness.com or DM me on Instagram and we'll chat.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelley Jeanne. Follow me at Miss Kelley Jeanne on Instagram, and you can find me on Spotify at Kelley Jeanne. There's an extra E, there's extra J's. It's all of it.
I love it. It's perfect.
I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know why it's so weird.
Your tights are so cute. I love the whole vibe. No, because it reminded me, because when I was in New York, I was like putting on tights for the first time because it's a little chilly, and I literally like ripped a hole, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I put another one, ripped another hole, and I was like, I cannot with this.
Yeah.
Like I'm too strong. I can't.
Yes.
Can't. But when we're talking about like the negative comments and stuff, like, it is one of those things, like it is hard to put yourself out there as a strong, independent female, right? And you're in the space of, you have this full-time job, right? But then you also are trying to pursue this dream. So, we've talked about this before, you and me, but how do you deal with, not only the pressure of, posting all those things, whatever, but strategically doing things like, you showed up here and you got this little goodie bag, of all your stuff, your stickers, which is awesome. And then your little ducky, which I love. I thought that was so cute. And it's so funny because there's one of these at the float place here at the, where I go do the cold plunges and stuff. And so it's just really cute. And I love it. So it makes me happy.
Yeah, no, I have a Jeep. Yeah. If everyone doesn't know, now I have a Jeep, and that's how the whole duck thing came about. And I have them at my shows now, and people know, and they love them. Those ducks are I make those ducks. So those ducks are special, but like they'll be like random ducks that I just find and I like them and I'll give them to people, and I duck other Jeeps. It's a Jeep thing, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's like, again, so it's strategic, but like even with your stickers and stuff and like these coasters, which are so cute. I'll show everybody that's watching on YouTube.
I'm always a permanent part of your home now.
Yes. And it says rock and roll with country soul.
Oh,
and it
thank you.
Yeah. Like I love that. So yeah, like with the marketing stuff, we've talked about that. It's more than just like you are your brand.
Yeah. No, right? It brings me so much joy. And I think, the same thing for you, right? Mm-hmm. This is who you are. And like I said earlier, it sometimes it's a little bit weird being it feels like a different person on stage than I am in real life. Actually, I feel like I would love to be more of that person on stage in real life a lot more, right? Like I feel a little bit more confident. Yes. I mean, I will, when I'm in a girl's bathroom, I will let other girls know if you need some tire slash, I am your girl.
Right.
But remember this little only 3, not all 4, because then they get it replaced by the insurance for free. So just let you know.
Just the 3, guys.
Just the 3. Yes.
We do not condone violence on this podcast.
We do not. Sorry. Like I said, this is going to be the most unhinged episode ever. Not invited back.
I love it. No, you're always welcome.
But it is a part of me, and it brings me so much joy to make and create these things, because I know that it'll bring other people joy who come to my show.
Right.
I had a show recently, and there was this little, I don't know, I don't want to say little girl. I'm bad at judging ages, but she was probably around 12, or she had me sign the ducks. She tells me, she follows me now.
Yeah.
It's so cute because she is such a part of the journey now, and wants to see and come to my shows. And that actually just means the whole world to me.
It's huge.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so cool because there'll be those moments. I was going to tell you when I was in Times Square, I don't know if you'd watched the live, but I saw this girl. I was doing the live video. Billboard was coming up, whatever. But I was telling my story, and there was this girl doing dance jumps. And I'm like, I remember being that girl. I know that life. So I was like, yeah, I get it. I'm yelling at her. And then after my live ended, I was like, hey, do you mind taking a photo? So I asked her mom, and her mom the girl snatched the phone. I was like, I'll do it. So she takes a photo of me, and I was like, man, I don't want to take my sweatshirt off, because I was kind of one, it's cold, and then 2, I'm in my improvement season. But I just got done with a workout. I felt good. Took the sweatshirt off, and I flexed. And the girl literally took the photos, and she goes, Mom, because I didn't know how she was going to respond, whatever. She's like, Mom, she's like, I'm going to go, I want to look strong and flex. And so she came and took a picture with me.
Oh,
And then her mom took some photos of her by herself, whatever. And it was just such a cool moment because it was like, I kind of for a second was like, maybe I should like hide, not hide, but you know what I mean? I was like, maybe I shouldn't, like, this is a good picture anyway. Me just like, in my Love Your Body hoodie. And then I was like, no, like, I am my brand. Like this is this journey. So yeah. And I felt successful and I felt good. So it doesn't matter, whatever. And then she was allowed to feel that and feel safe to do that.
Yeah.
Cause she'd already taken all her pictures. So it was just one of those moments where even just that, like out of the billboard was cool. Right. But like that moment, and seeing that, and then I interviewed them for the Love Your Body initiative.
Oh my God.
It was so special.
So special.
So it is. So it's so cool to have that. And so I love that you have those like, your genies and stuff like that. And people who are just like excited for your shows. And that gives you life.
Yeah, it really does. It means the whole world to me. And knowing that you made that difference for that one girl, like, amazing.
Right?
Like so amazing.
And it was cool. And so it was funny because I really thought I was going to end the day like thinking like, oh, like, all the high things, like the billboard and the runway show, whatever. And I was like, this
which you crushed, by the way. Let's be for real. I would have fallen flat on my face, but girl, dang, you were strutting.
I did not even practice in those stilettos. And like, they're like Benjamin Walker shoes or whoever the designer was. And he like, I asked the lady, I was like, y'all really want me to wear these? And she was like, I mean, it'd be really great if you could, but if you need to wear your others, you can. I was like, all right. And I'm so competitive, right? So I'm like, I'm going to do it. So like after I walked off, I was like, nailed it. Like
nailed it.
It's like no one would have known if I didn't wear them, but it was just hilarious. So I was just like, I'm going to get there, not trip, and like rock it out. And it was cool. Like it was such a cool moment. But that definitely was the highlight of my day. Being like, seeing that girl and meeting her, and her name was Lauren, and she was really sweet. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so I love that. So what I do want to ask you, so in terms of like mental stuff, what have you been doing for your mental to be able to like kind of disconnect, but also I know you have the trip coming up, so maybe that's your self-care you're looking forward to, but like on a daily basis, or, do you have anything that's been helping? And like,
a great question. Yeah. Tell me how I can help myself.
Well, because I do think that we have both grown since we, because we've talked about all this, especially from when you started in 2019, and just even over the past few years and stuff. Even with your marketing, like I feel like has grown. And then with your social media presence, like you being more present, like that has grown. Like, so things are looking up. So like, I just want to, kind of tap in that realness factor of it. Cause I still deal with the whole not feeling good enough. Right. Yeah. Or, and it's not even about other people like seeing me as good enough. Cause it's more like it pisses me off that they don't see that or they don't understand. Right.
Oh, 100%.
And so it's more of me being like, well, maybe I could be doing more, or maybe I could do it this way, or maybe, so it's like that.
Yeah. Constant struggle. Always.
Yeah.
No, okay. I still have that feeling. Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about it previously, where I always feel like I'm never doing enough, where after a show, sometimes I'll come home and I'll be like, I need to book more shows. I need to do this and this. I don't
like
sit in a moment.
Appreciate that you just crushed that show. Right. Like, and what, do you know what Enneagram you are? Do you know that?
No, I don't.
Okay. So I feel like you might be an 8, like how I am, but I don't know, but you also like are kind of like a people pleaser too.
Oh, 100% a people pleaser.
Yeah,
I have such a huge issue.
Okay. Yes. So I feel like, it is just challenging because like I said, I really tried to be present in New York to be like, look, like you couldn't have done I didn't come off. I wasn't like, oh, I could have done the runway a lot better. I was like, nah, sis, like you did it. Like it was period, right?
It was beautiful.
So, thank you.
Spot on.
So I felt really good about it and being like, I gave all my all, like helping the girls backstage to not like be upset and, did all that. And like, and was very, I didn't get like sassy. I didn't get like, I ate my food. I did my workouts. Like everything was really structured, but that's taken me so long to get to that point. Right.
Yeah.
And to be like, okay with that. So I feel like I'm kind of turning in that sense, but it is hard when you work for yourself and you're like, okay, I could be training, I could be making money, I could be doing like, or why didn't I think about this earlier or whatever? Like,
yeah.
So do you lean on like Chase for support? Do you like, can you lean on anybody? Like,
I mean, I do.
Okay.
Chase is, if everybody who doesn't know, Chase is my best friend and my guitarist in my band. And he's been with me since like the beginning in Pittsburgh. So, I do a little bit, but.
Were y'all friends before he started playing for you?
No.
Okay.
We met because he started playing for me. We met at a Buffalo Wild. Well, our first meeting was at a Buffalo Wild Wings, to see if we would like fit, vibe, like, and so Chase a little bit like, because it was really loud and he's been in bands before, it's kind of like hard to hear sometimes. Like he was having a hard time hearing me. So I kept repeating myself. I didn't know that at the time. I was like, is he like, yeah, is he all there?
Right. Yeah.
And I told Chase this. I was like, is he, like, I'm like, I asked him, and I'm like, is he okay?
Yeah.
Like, is he all there? And it was so funny because after that, like, in being with him, he was just has a hard time hearing. But in that moment, I was like, this is not going to work out. Now, fast forward like 6 years at this point. Yeah.
I love that. So, and he still lives with you. So,
yeah.
How is that dynamic? Because, because we've talked about this with the situations I've had in the past.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that on the Patreon.
Oh, I cannot
Remind me
wait.
about Valentine's Day, and then I'll okay.
Oh my gosh.
We'll talk about that. But see, that's why you guys should subscribe. Like
I
now.
can't wait. I'm like so excited. Can I fast forward?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is like, I had to deal with that where I had someone that like worked for me. Okay, because technically Chase works for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I hate to say it like that, but like, okay,
Right.
Look at that. And then from here, you say, okay, so he works for you, but he also lives with you. So how do you deal with like the personal and business?
Honestly, so hard. And we've talked about this before, and there's been moments where we've almost no longer played music together, where we almost no longer were friends.
Right.
Because there is like this up and downs where, especially when we're on the road together, and like, I know your difference. It's a little bit different. Like, I know like the situations are a little bit different because if we're on the road, we're living together, constantly together.
Yes.
And, Chase is a little bit different than your person. Are we allowed to say?
Oh yeah, just Blake is who we're talking about. Like, because he did work for Danny Fitness and stuff.
So Chase is a little bit different than Blake because oh my gosh. Chase is so I usually, especially with a Navy background and my dad being in the Navy and that military like background, if I'm not somewhere 15 minutes early, I'm late. If I'm not like when I do business, I'm very much on time, professional. I try to keep it super professional.
Right.
Chase is not that way. So when I handled him in that way and like spoke to him in that way, it didn't go well.
Right.
And like I had to know the kind of person and how I'm coming at it. And I'm getting better, and we're both getting better at it. Like he accepts me a little bit more. I accept him a little bit more. Because obviously there's a reason why we're playing music together. There's a reason why we started this. So there's a reason why we're friends, right? Yeah. You have to remember those reasons when it gets to the like,
when it gets hard.
Hate you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's such a good point that you make, because it's almost like, I think a lot of, male female dynamics, the female's always feeling like, I gotta like drag them along, or like I have to like, why won't you just change, or why won't you like level up, right?
Yeah.
But then also the guy's like, well, why are you critiquing everything I do?
Right.
So it's this like constant struggle, especially when the female is kind of like in charge of things or making decisions.
Right.
And a lot of men can't handle that, or, aren't receptive to it. So I think it's cool that, like what you said, that, you had to kind of put some boundaries, but also that he was willing to work on those things. And that's the key. If you're both willing to work on the things, right? Like me not being so, intense with stuff. And then like, if they put some more effort, or whatever, like, then it maybe could have worked out better.
Yeah.
Right. But if you don't have that, and because again, I feel like a lot of times for me, not just with that situation, but in general, it always feels like I'm putting in the effort. Like I'm checking in on people. I'm doing this.
Right.
I'm asking.
And that's
them,
exhausting.
And it is exhausting. And then it's kind of like you reflect back and like, wow, like, like for example, with Valentine's Day, right? So like I reached out to my like girls that I know that are friends that have lost people. Okay. And reach out to them like, hey, how you doing? What's up? I don't care if it was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. I was like, how you doing? Whatever. So I reached out to them. They're like, that meant so much. But then on the flip side, I had one person reach out to me, and she's great. She's been on the podcast. China is her name. And like, and we're great friends. But that was it.
Yeah.
And it's not everyone's responsibility to check in on me because of like Valentine's Day, right? And especially because they got their own stuff going on, whatever. But it was just one of those moments of like, when you look at friendships, you're like, damn, like I wish that like somebody would just realize that this is going to be like really like hard, or this is a heavy day or whatever, right? And again, I have friends that check in on other times, especially on more significant days and whatever. So I'm not saying they don't, but it does feel exhausting when you're just like, man, I'm continually pouring into so many people, and then you don't have that reciprocated.
No, I agree. And there's a point where, especially when it came to Chase and I, where it was like, I was trying to meet Chase where he was, and then it's like you matched their energy at that point. Like it's a breaking point. And I have had a friend break up recently, a friendship break, like with a friend who I thought was very close, who I was very close with. And that is honestly has been worse than relationship
Really?
breakups. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I understand that whole thing, like where you're constantly putting in this energy, where you're constantly trying to be that person. And then when it's not matched, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not cared about, where your efforts aren't being seen or appreciated.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you have to appreciate everything,
Right.
but like we're not even like you're being attacked for something totally different.
Well, and everyone probably listening is like, oh, well, not when you give effort, it doesn't have to be the same level of effort.
Oh.
Like, so it's not even that. It's not even my expectation of what it should be. And I've had to let go of that because I used to have an expectation of what like that effort looked like from people, but it looks different from everyone. So I know that like how Alexis responds to something is different than how Jordan's going to respond to something. Totally get it. And they both love me dearly.
Yes, yeah.
Two best friends, but you know, and same with China. Like it's like they all are different. So I can't have these expectations that they have to be certain ways. But I do know that like when I need them or like when, you know, they're always there for me or that the effort is there. They do check in periodically about like, hey, like, do you know, how are you doing? Whatever. So it is there. It's just like, I can't expect them to check in every day or I can't expect them to drop everything, you know. So it is a balance.
It is. Yeah.
It's so hard.
And
but
like,
with that letting go of that relationship, like, do you feel like a huge weight has been lifted or do you feel like,
yeah, no, I mean, definitely in some ways, yes.
Yeah.
But it's honestly something that I still am like, what happened? Because this person was so special to me, right?
Yeah.
And like this friendship was so special that I just like, it's still like a very open wound.
Well, yeah. So, and that's the whole thing too with like Blake and stuff. It's like nothing like we didn't like nothing happened. It just I stopped putting effort in.
Yeah, it happened like
So
this.
it just dissipated. Like it just that was it.
Yeah.
Once I stopped putting effort, that was it. So I wish that there kind of would have been like a falling out, like a how he
wouldn't have
explains
been way
it.
more fun,
Right?
It would have been way more fun. We would have
yell
way
it
more
out.
Patreon episodes here. Like we would have. It would have been way more fun. I agree. No, it's honestly it's a bummer sometimes, and I do feel in some ways like a weight has been lifted off, but in other ways, there's moments where I'm celebrating things. I'm just like, oof, like this would have, like, or there's moments where like I have like these events happen and I'm like, oh, it could have been something fun and it could have been something different than what it is now. And I do have to like, I'm healing and letting it go, but yeah, sometimes you have to meet people where they are and then sometimes you have to let go for yourself. Yeah.
No, I love that. And I think that's such a good point because sometimes it's just not like it's so nice to reminisce, you know, it's so cool to look back. I mean, nostalgic, right?
Yes.
But then it's like, but you remember, we always remember all the good times, right?
Yeah.
And we were soon to forget the bad.
Oh yeah.
And how those people also made you feel. And so you have to look at all of that too. And sometimes the people are just for a season and that's okay. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that they can't still support in certain ways. They can't still whatever, you know. But I'm sorry that happened. And I hate that.
Thank you. It's good. It's good. We're moving on.
Good.
You know, I slashed a few times. Just kidding.
This is not when you did that. Yeah.
No, I did not do that.
Well, let me ask you this. So, did this have anything to do with people not living in your house anymore, or is this separate?
No, this is separate.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
No, this
gotcha.
is separate. This is recent. Like this is like not super recent, but like last June. I don't know, like I said, I don't know exactly what happened, but it was just like a lack of communication.
Yeah.
And then like I was texting and then we were playing at CMA Fest, which is so fun, so
that's
exciting.
awesome.
Yeah, we were playing at CMA Fest. I was like, they didn't come, you know, they didn't respond.
Right.
Then I was like texting that I want to fix things. Like this friendship is important to me. Like I don't know what happened, but let's have a conversation. Texted me the day before my birthday, like, yeah, let's have a conversation tomorrow, right? And I'm like, more than welcome to have a conversation, but let's keep it positive because tomorrow's my birthday. And they're like, oh, totally didn't even know it was your birthday. We've been friends for a couple of years. Texted my roommates happy birthday on their birthday.
July 6th, right?
Yeah, July 6th.
Before me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Texted my roommates on their birthday happy birthday. But you're telling me my close friend.
Yeah.
You're saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. After, let me tell you something. Maybe say this. Actually, we're not going to save this for the Patreon. This is what you get when you say it. This is what you get. We bought a gift, right? Like as a painting of her animals, right? For their apartment because her animals are like my animals, like my children, right? Like I love them so much. And I asked her boyfriend to send me pictures of those animals and he sent me pictures. Okay. And I guess one of the dogs are his, like was his beforehand. Then there's a cat that she had and then she has a dog that she had like before, but like it's like a little mixed family of animals now.
Yeah.
So I guess the picture that he sent of her dog wasn't good enough because how it came out on the painting wasn't good. It didn't really look like her dog. So it was just complaining the moment that I gave her that gift.
Oh my God.
Should have known in that moment.
Yeah. Isn't that so hard when you're like Eve, I've got some shitty gifts before. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And I've still been like, man, but you were thoughtful enough. Because like my love language is like acts of service. So yeah, and we're both Cancer. That's what it is. Like,
yeah.
So, it's one of those things where like, it really does come down to it of like, I don't even care if it's like something little, like, or even just like coming to an event, like with my Move Fit event, right? It's like, it's like when people show up for that, I don't care if they don't even dance. They just come for like the free stuff, whatever, but just show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like when I've had news segments or things like that, and the people who have shown up at 5 a.m. or that have come to things or shared something or whatever, I'm just like, that means so much to me. And people don't realize more than someone like, even, I don't know, buying a gift or something expensive or whatever, so that's why it's just always so frustrating. Cause it's just like, man, like it almost feels like, again, you're not good enough. Right. Yeah. Like, wow, wasn't
like, I am also a person who gets so excited to give gifts because I put a lot of thought in it. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna love this. Loves her little pets. Yeah. Like, and honestly, it didn't look bad at all. The painting was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no.
I hate that so much. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
But it does sound like it was better for the best
for everyone.
So with your full time with Vanderbilt job, like, is this something that like you see yourself doing like for a long time? Like, is it something that you're like? Are you like?
Is anyone from Vanderbilt watching?
Right. No, you're good.
No, just kidding.
But I didn't know if you were like, because teachers, they have like tenure and stuff. I didn't know if like with your stuff, are you in a contract?
No, I'm not in a contract. Don't fire me though.
Right. Yeah. You still
no, I'm not in a contract. But the goal and the thing that makes me the happiest in the whole entire world is being on stage, performing. And that's just what I would love to do 100% full time. I am so grateful that I have this opportunity to do this work and like make a difference in this way, because they're doing a lot of research funded by like the NIH and the NIA, and like they're making a difference in people's lives. So it's really cool, like the research that they're working on. So being able to do that at the same time as like pursuing this dream has been really an amazing thing. Yeah. But I would love to focus on just music one day, and that just be it. Not anytime soon though, Vanderbilt.
I got you. So with your, with your songs and everything like that, like, so do you have anything like coming up that you want to share?
Oh my gosh. Yes. And honestly, I'm so nervous and excited all at the same time, but on April 4th, we're going to be dropping a single. Okay. Yes, we're releasing Who Says, Country If I Want to Be is the song. And I think you heard it. It's so special and important to me. I wrote it with Noah Henson. And he actually is in Brantley Gilbert's band. Okay. So yeah, he's a producer in his own right. So good, honestly. And he really takes what the artist is feeling and thinking and listens to them. So honestly, if you're looking for a producer, I cannot recommend him enough. Okay. But I wrote this with him, and honestly, we got into a writing room together totally by not by accident, but by a mutual friend who like manages some people, and he got us into a writing room together. So nervous because I have only been writing with my friends at that point. Like I was like, oh, now I'm writing with someone like super big, and like this is so crazy, this is so creepy, and in the best way, creepy in the best way. Oh my gosh! Right, But I was so nervous. So I was like, the night before, I stayed up all night writing down every single hook, because you never want to go into a writing room unprepared, because then people don't want to write with you, because they're like, for sure, why are we writing if you're not like, you don't have a hook, you're not prepared, you don't really care. But so I wrote down every single hook in my head. I was like thinking of things like ideas, stories, because I'm one of those people who I do like hooks, but I also like stories too, like thinking of them ahead of time. So get to his house, and he lives out in the way. I saw lots of cows. It was an amazing journey to his place. Driving there, I saw this John Deere tractor, and I was like, dang, like, I don't know much about a John Deere, but I can shotgun the hell out of a cool beer. Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay. I was like, dang. I was like, I'm going to keep this in my back pocket. Like, maybe I'll write this with like Chase or someone. Yeah. And I get to his house, because I already have all these hooks. I have everything. I am prepared. Right. So I get to his house. We go up to the studio, kind of like shooting out. He's like, so what do you want to write about? After we get to know each other a little bit, like, what is your vibe? Like, what do you like to write about? it's like a new friendship budding, right?
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
so funny about how you like all meet each other, try to figure each other out. But I was like, okay, here are all my ideas, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay, there, calm down.
Right. He's like, just take a beat. Okay.
Yes. And he just pulled out his guitar and started chugging this riff on his guitar. And I'm just like, dude, like, I don't know much about a John Deere, but I can shotgun, have a cool beer, sweet tea drinking, and collard greenie and boots down, bottom up to the bottle, not the cup. And I was like, I just kept writing.
Yeah.
And we just wrote that song. It just happened.
I love it.
It was like none of my ideas mattered.
cash, like,
Shouldn't
you just-
have lost
yeah.
any sleep over it.
Yeah, but I will say that I think it's great to always go in prepared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For those listening,
Oh,
that
for
like,
sure.
because it's kind of like how we talk about the manifesting, and people are
Right,
like, oh yeah, you
yes.
manifest all that, but there was hard work.
Oh, 100%.
There's the hard work that got with the
Got you
manifesting.
to be able to manifest it. Like
Yes.
I believe in that 100%. Like putting your goals out into the universe, like
Yes.
saying it because then you're working towards it, right?
Right.
Like I'm a huge vision board person. I have
Yep.
one every single year
Yay.
for different areas of my life, and I keep them. I actually make them like nice, like on like this canvas, and
Oh,
so
I'm sure
I put
you
the
do.
year.
I can totally see that at your house.
Oh, next time I'll bring them. When I'm moving in, we'll hang them on this
Right.
wall.
I need
but
some.
I like 100% the hard work has to go into it. So I felt comfortable enough that I
Yeah.
could go into this right.
And
like not have to worry about like the hooks and everything, like because I already prepared.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have lost so much sleep about it. Like I was okay.
Yeah.
But being prepared 100%, but I felt comfortable enough to like write this song, and we have written more songs together. But I'm just so excited because this is the first song that I'm going to release since 2021. Like
Okay,
it's been
okay,
a
yeah, so
long,
it's been a minute.
It's
Okay.
been a minute. It's been a long time.
So how does that work? Like, for example, like, do you just like you put it out, you'll launch it on Spotify, and then people
Yeah.
just go and like, so like it and like follow, like, how do
Yeah.
you grow it? Like, what's the deal?
Okay, great question.
Yeah. Tell me
There's
all the
a lot of.
things, yeah.
I'm going to tell you all of the things that I know, and that's not very much. But
No, you know a ton. Don't-
I love it, and I'm so excited about it at the same time, but I'm also so nervous because like you're putting this little song baby into the world.
Right.
But the most important thing is like promoting it ahead of time.
Yes.
So
Okay.
since I am leaving for San Diego, what a time to leave. But I'm going to be doing a photo shoot on Tuesday. Very
Cool.
last minute like photo shoot. So we're doing a photo shoot before I leave.
Okay.
So excited for the single art and album art. Well, cover art. I guess not an
Yeah,
album,
yeah.
just single. We're going to do that on Tuesday so we can upload everything to the distributor.
Okay.
And then we have a month to promote it. So then
Okay.
we'll like put it out. I'll be making Instagram reels,
Yes, I
Instagram
can't wait.
videos.
Yeah.
I'll be making all of the things to promote it. But the most important thing is like pre-saving it ahead of time.
Okay.
So everyone pre-save it.
Yeah,
Genies,
so-
you know what to do.
For sure. No, I love that. So when you do this, like, so when you did it in 2021, like the single that you dropped, was it with somebody else too, or was it your own, it was just by yourself?
It was just by myself.
So this is the first for you to have like someone of this
Yeah.
caliber. Kind of, okay.
yeah.
That's awesome.
No,
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Yay. Okay. That's so exciting. I love it. And then tell me, when you said that you like performed at CMA, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience? Like, did you get to meet anybody cool? Like, did anything come from that, or was it?
So we're very lucky we have in this community of people, and you would think that this Nashville songwriters, singers, like it's such a big community, but it's so small and tight knit at
Yeah.
times. Like you'll run into people. We played at this place called the Tavern, like at
yeah.
the Bridgestone. Yeah. So we
Yep.
played there all the time. So they
Nice.
had a little CMA event there, and like we were
Awesome.
just able to play it. So it was so fun, so exciting. It was a great opportunity. I would like to think that we met really cool people.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I love
yeah,
that.
there's been so many amazing opportunities that I've got to be a part of because
Mm-hmm.
when I first moved down here, I met Leslie Fran from CMT.
Okay.
And she does a lot of like change the conversation events, women in country music
Love
type
it.
of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I get to go to some like the next women in country music events or
Yeah.
any of those events. And I've met some super cool people. I got to meet Sarah Evans, who is one of the
Cool.
most
Yeah.
down to earth people, and having a conversation with her is one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life.
Nice.
Such a huge fan of hers.
Yeah.
And so it's really awesome.
That's so cool. So what has been the best place that you've played at, like, or the best like event you've had so far?
Oh, okay. I think because I'm such a huge Pitt fan, so Hail to Pitt, because I went there and I'm a huge football fan.
Okay.
I think the most amazing moment has been when Pitt played Tennessee here in Tennessee a couple years ago. And we went down and we got to play the tailgate and it was so in Knoxville. And it was
I love that.
so fun. Chase hated it because we had to wake up so early because it was like an afternoon game. No, we drove the night before because I know for a fact, like I said, you got to meet people where they're at. I know for a fact Chase is not a morning person, like not at all. So we drove the night before. We had to get to the tailgate early. It was like a afternoon game. So we're performing at we have to be there at like 7 or 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it was so early. Yeah, he's in his little Pitt jersey with a coffee in his hand and he's just so not the happiest, but it was so fun.
But
it was
like a high energy, like just awesome vibe.
Yeah,
like,
so once it started, he is definitely, and I the same way too, but definitely an energy vampire, like where you feed off of people's energy. And so like once people were there and it was like such an exciting environment, it just couldn't wait for it.
On that note, right? So we had talked about once before, just how we feel like we have to do everything ourselves. Okay. So do you feel like now with having someone film your content, like do you have like an assistant? Do you have like just people that help you with things on occasion? How's that going?
Yeah. I wish I had an assistant.
Yeah.
Sometimes Chase probably feels like he's my assistant. He likes to tell people that, but
oh my gosh, whatever, Chase.
I know. No, I do feel very supported. Like I have a lot of supportive people in my life, which honestly is so needed. I had a little bit of a, I don't want to say anxiety attack, but a little bit of a mental moment yesterday evening because we're fostering. My animals are like my babies. You know this. I took Oreo, who's a little kitten that I'm fostering.
Yeah.
He had to get neutered. So nothing bad, right? But he was just wearing a cone. He was having a hard time. And I had to go to an event last night and I just want to be home taking care of him.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was failing in all areas, of taking care of him. I was running late to this event. I haven't spoken to my parents in a while, so I had to call my dad, and I just was short call that I felt like I was just struggling to stay afloat.
Right.
So I reached out to a person and I feel like I'm failing, and they're like take a breath, you crazy person. No, but they're take a breath. It's going to be okay. So just having those supportive people around me and the people I surround myself with, especially the girl who films my content, she does a lot of marketing work and her name's Bryce from Novel House Marketing. And she is so pregnant at the moment, about to pop. Honestly, I see her and I'm just so excited for her because I can't wait to meet little Chloe.
Yeah.
So excited. But she is such a positive energy. I need those people around me. Whoever I work with, and that's how I found you. Like I said, I loved your energy, who you were as a person. Yeah. And I just want to surround myself with people like that. So yeah, I do not have an assistant, but I do have people in my life that honestly just really help me out. However I need, friends, that's everything. Awesome. It's just so amazing.
Okay, good.
I couldn't do it without them. But yeah, no, I do have someone helping with my social media because like I said, that still is so scary for me because I just, I want to be myself. There's always these trends and everything that are happening, but I'm that's just not me.
Well, and that's so I do consulting for businesses, right? Yeah. And so that was something I've been talking to a lot of the females that I've been working with is well, should I do this? I read that I should do this. I should do that. It's it's kind of with the crazy fad diets, right? I'm you have to find out what works best for you,
right?
And then rock with it. If you're not comfortable being in front of the camera, then don't have a selfie right here, right? Maybe put it on a tripod and kind of make it more interview style and make something more you're comfortable with, right? Or do it I'll give suggestions of if they don't like to post or whatever, then engage with their audience and just everyone that does, everyone that follows them, be like, hey, thank you so much for following. Or you can set up automations for that, just
100%.
Find what makes sense for you. If you don't rock with reels, then keep with the stack posts, whatever. Because Instagram takes, prisoners every which way. You know what I'm saying? It shadow bans me all the time. So it's one of those things where no matter what, and my content's great. I feel like it is. It's great. It's awesome. Whatever.
It is.
And
I can second that. I love it.
Thank you. But it's but again, it will be sometimes where it doesn't it's not seen at all. You know, and I'm just whatever. And so you can't let it defeat you because then they'll always win. No,
100% agree.
And that's why I'm that only got so many likes. So I'm gonna post another one and another one and another one.
Yeah.
It's my new segment. I was I'll post it because I couldn't do it all at once. So I was 3 different clips in a day. what?
Yeah.
Like,
if people don't want to see it, go ahead. Don't look at it.
exactly.
Don't watch it. You don't
doesn't
have
matter.
to.
But
It's
it made me
you.
feel great.
Exactly.
And it made me feel awesome because I was like, I need all 3 parts of this to be seen
Yeah.
because it was awesome. And I loved getting to be on there.
Right.
And there were so many gems and beautiful moments that happened afterwards. And it was like, so that made me feel good about it. Cause like,
Yeah.
I remember when I came off the stage, off the news segment, the girl that was filming for me, cause she's just like a girl that I met. I was like, hey, could you film this for me? I even brought my tripod just in case. Cause I didn't know if the people were gonna be cool, you know, which they were awesome. But when I came off, she was like, hey, like, I just want to say it was so cool to hear your story in person. Thank you for sharing it.
Oh,
and that was just like a piece of my little bit, you know, but she was like, it was really, really great to hear. And that was like, oh, like, because you know how people be like, oh, thanks for coming in, like whatever. But they all were so intentional with it afterwards that I was like, well, thanks. Like that really meant a lot, you know? And so that gym was like, again, more special than like the whole segment, but super cool. So I wanted to share as much as I could. But yeah, so I think that like, yes, the social media thing is hard because it is like hard not to let it get to you at some point, right? But I think that it's just like if you are living authentically and you are posting how you want to do it and whatever, and when you feel good doing it, that's what matters the most.
No, for sure. And like I said, I've been doing this where I water my plants, like I said, cactus girl hair.
Yep.
So I water them, and I've been singing, and like I've been doing covers of doing it, and I have people like respond saying, we want you to do this song while you're watering your plants. So it's been great seeing that grow.
Good.
There's times where I'm like, oh, this only got so many likes. Like, how can people not like this?
Right. Like, it's so great
now
to you.
it's different where I'm like, this is so good. Like, what is wrong with you? Instead of like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
Because I'm just being myself.
Yes.
Like, I don't have to be anyone else. I just love in this moment who I am and what I'm doing.
Yep.
And it hasn't always been like that. And like I said, during that dark moment.
But it's you growing and it's you learning and it's you like, and so I feel like that's awesome. And I definitely can see that, you know, and that's been so cool to watch.
Oh,
so
thank you.
yeah, of course. So do you feel like, you know, with your family, like, do you get to see them often? Like when you go to Pittsburgh for gigs, or are you just like, I'm in, or not Pittsburgh? Yeah, Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, I get my family's not in Pittsburgh though,
they're
which is why people.
Okay,
they're in
New York?
Maryland.
Oh, Maryland. Okay.
Extended family in New York. My parents are in Maryland.
Okay.
My brother is in Texas now. He just got a job in Texas. Like super shout out to him. He just got his PhD in civil engineering. So now he's working for Stephen Austin. I don't know what it is, but he just got this amazing job. He's professor doing amazing research. My sister's at Florida. She's getting her PhD in audiology and speech pathology. Yeah, my other sister is at Maryland and she works at the community college as an anthropologist. So they're doing amazing things. Yes, and they're all kind of spread out. Right.
Yeah.
So my dad is always like, and like I said, when I was going, before I did this whole music thing, I was going to Pitt doing engineering. That was the plan. And then like I kind of fell into this a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I was coming down here just for fun to see my songs and like kind of met Leslie, met a few people, and it became a dream. And I didn't plan on this. I just knew that it made me happy because when I was at Pitt, I wasn't singing at all as an undergrad. I was just doing engineering. And then when I started singing, I was like, oh my God, this makes me so dang happy. Like, this is what I have to do. So I kind of fell into it a little bit. And my dad, when I told my parents I was no longer going to do Pitt, I was moving to Nashville. I was doing this whole singing, songwriting thing. I think they might have been like, what the actual F?
Really?
Like, you know, in their
But they
head.
weren't supportive?
Like, supportive, 100%, but worried for me. Like, obviously, as parents are. My dad's always like, are you sure you don't want to go back to school and, you know, do this? Like, I just know how, like, smart you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad. You might be a little bit biased, but thank you.
Right.
And I'm like, but no, maybe one day, like, if I don't want to pursue this whole music thing as I am right now, but this is my dream and my goal, and I kind of just am focusing on it at the moment. But no, I think my dad like almost was like lost his mind.
Right. Well, do you ever get overwhelmed because you are like in an area like, for example, I mean, I don't know how Pittsburgh is with singers, but like where you could have kind of been at like a big fish in a small pond.
Big fish in a little pond.
Yeah. And then now you're like maybe
a little baby tiny fish in this huge pond of greatness.
Yeah.
Yes.
So does that like mess with you a lot, or does it make you feel more inspired? Like, does it
So it definitely does not. I thought it would.
Yeah.
When I moved down here, that would mess with me. And sometimes I do question if I made the right decision, and I know that I have, because you can't write with the people up in Pittsburgh or produce music like you do down here.
Right.
But yeah, you could have been a big fish in this little pond, and it could have been great, like whatever it is. But I get so, whenever I'm on stage and I'm sitting next to someone and they're amazing voice, obviously, amazing songwriter. Everyone here is so good that makes you just want to be better.
Yeah.
And like, and we're all different in our own way. We can sparkle and shine in our own way. Like Nikki and I, totally different.
Totally different.
She, loving, wonderful, beautiful person. Me, wanting to slash tires. Men are afraid of me. It's just how it is.
Whatever. And still a wonderful person.
Yes. Well, yeah, we'll see. But
it's so funny.
It is so funny. But like you said, we're just so different, but we're in our own ways so special, right? So it's just exciting to see that and exciting to see friends do amazing things and like reach these levels. And sometimes it is hard to not compare yourself, right? But I've kind of got to the point where like I'm glad that I'm on this journey and I know wherever it's going to end up, it's going to work out.
Yeah. Do you have people that you like low key do compare yourself to, but it makes you better?
Yeah, there are Instagram accounts that I have flagged as like people that I follow because I'm very inspired by them. And I'm like, I see what they're doing and I'm like, heck to the freaking yes.
Which I think is so important because it's like low key, I get so like whatever, but like I have a couple people that like, I'm like, shoot, like, all right, time to level up again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, all right, like, let's go. But it's not even to compare, but it's just like I don't know. Or, you know, if somebody, does something and then like for example like with the local tune news, right? So like I was supposed to go on there like months ago, like months ago, before everybody else did, like my friends that have all been on there. And so that's cool that they got on there and whatever, like I'm not discrediting that, but it was one of those things where like but I was like, I don't have time, you know, and I kind of put it off just because I had a lot going on, right? Especially with my eye and everything, you know, it happened. So, but then in my mind, I'm like, oh, well now it just looks like I'm copying everybody because I wasn't the first. And I was like, bitch, go on the show.
Yes,
like
100%.
Like,
just
stop
do it.
the nonsense. Just go.
Yes.
And when I did, it helped, you know, those girls that were there that day. Like, and I saw Danielle Breezy and like we hung out like for a second and like that was cool. Like, so there's so many good things that came from it, right? And who knows what might come from it like later on. But it was just one of those things of like, you're just gonna like you like copied them. And but again, I know that I didn't, and it doesn't matter, but it was just that moment, that brief of like, you know, I like to do cool stuff, like be in Times Square, be on a billboard, or like walk in a runway show. Like, so it's always trying to do different things. So like, I hate doing the same stuff that everyone else is, you know, but I think that sometimes like it is okay. And it's like, as long as you have that differentiating factor, you know what I'm saying?
I agree, because you have to put that hard work in, like you said.
Your own too.
Yeah.
Like
you have to put that work in. You have to like to manifest these dreams and these goals, and you see what people are doing. And honestly, there is obviously something works for them, right? There's something in their process that has been working for them. Yeah. And so like, maybe tapping in to like seeing how hard they work, like, you know, and seeing them grow, like you can do it too. Like that person has that many followers, blah, 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 that many people listening to their song. Guess what? Same.
Well, and also too, so I think it's so funny because like what you said, it's so true because like the fitness world is the same. I feel like in terms of like singers, like they're here in Nashville, like now it's like everyone's a health coach or like everyone's a trainer. Yes. And it's just like
the Instagram trainers who are like wrong. Sometimes I'm like, what the heck is that? I was like, I love your outfit, but I do not think that that is a squat. Okay.
Right. But it's just literally like, it's like overwhelming. Right. So like, and I do feel like with the singers, like that's a lot here too. But again, how you differentiate yourself and how you have your own, like with your branding, and like that's how I feel with mine. And so there's so many more things to it. Like if someone was just to call you like a singer, like, you know, it's like how they're like, oh, you're a trainer. It's like, no, like I'm a body positive brand owner.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like, again, differentiating yourself even about the language you speak, or like I'm helping people love themselves versus I'm just helping people get small, you know, or I'm just helping people like look good. Like, you know, all those things can happen to be true, but it's what you're putting out there first intention, you know? And I think that you're leading with like positivity and you're leading with like, you know, different in the way that you do everything. So I love that so much.
Thank you.
So besides the single, anything else anybody can look out for coming up?
Well, mostly just a single. That's my whole effort is into that single
so
right now.
That was like your goal for 2024. You were like, let's put the...
Well, I'm releasing probably 3 singles in 2024.
Okay.
So I'm super excited. I'm releasing the single first because I love it. Yeah. I love it a lot. The next single I'm going to release, I love a lot too, like so much.
Are they all with the same producer guy? Like
all with the same producer. Okay. Yep. I wrote the other one that I'm going to release with a friend of mine while we were drinking pizza. Oh my gosh. I always say this, drinking pizza. No, we're drinking wine and eating pizza.
Yes,
oh my gosh. Just combining the two.
That's okay.
Pizza flavored wine. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, we wrote that song, and that's a lot of song. That song, people are like, people vibe to it, but there is this guy who vibing to the song the whole time.
Yeah.
Heard something about a mullet in it, and he had a mullet, and he like whipped his head around and was like,
gosh.
what? And then after the show, he comes up to me and he's like, I just want to let you know that my mullet is not nasty, that it is beautiful.
Oh
He
my
went through his whole shampoo and conditioning of his mullet.
Wow.
Honestly, his mullet did look immaculate. It was not dirty or nasty. I'm like, this song is not about you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. He's like, I really like it, but my mullet is great.
Wow.
And I was like, okay.
You're like, don't take it personal.
Don't take it personally, but you can, but you know.
So what would be something that that you would tell to like your younger self, like that would have helped maybe along the journey? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I know.
Could you have like texted me this question before
I
I
know.
came here?
I didn't do any of that. We did not. This is all on the fly.
This is on the fly. Okay. Wow.
And again, it's not because I know you're like me, like you don't regret anything, but
Yeah.
it's more like you've learned from a lot. So is there anything that maybe you would have been like, man, if I could have just told myself, like, you know?
Yeah, I think asking for help sometimes when you need it.
Yeah.
I'm one of, and I still do it, right?
Do you think that's because
I can
you're the oldest sibling and you're just like very like that military
And I
base?
saw like my mom, like when my dad wasn't around, like because he was in the Navy and like not there 100% of the time, I saw my mom taking care of us. Like, you know, like as like she wasn't a single mom. I don't want to say my dad, very supportive, but she was taking us places, taking us there. So I saw her be very strong and independent. My dad, strong and independent, and that's just who they raised me as, like a strong, independent. And I just have a huge problem, like a hard time asking for help when I need it. And I've gotten better at it, but there's still those moments where I can just do this myself.
Yeah.
And nobody cares about your stuff as much as you do.
100%.
So it's always gonna be my baby. I'm always gonna struggle with this. I'm always gonna do it, but it's okay to ask for help and have people help you, especially when you're in a moment where you're just like not okay.
No, I love that. And I think that more people, just because you're a strong, independent woman, doesn't mean that you don't have to ask, or that you shouldn't ask for help or advice. Because again, does it make you weaker? It actually makes you seem stronger. And vulnerability is beautiful. So I definitely think that that's a huge takeaway, that people that are coming up and maybe they're going to chase their dreams and things, like
chase it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? That's the thing I always tell myself. What is the worst that can happen? Someone tells you no, it doesn't work out. At least you did it. You don't want to look back on your life in like 90 years and wonder, why didn't I take this chance? Like, why didn't I do it? What is the worst that can happen? 100%.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for coming on, girl. And guys, stay tuned for the Patreon. So if you're listening, make sure to subscribe to that, because we're going to spill all the tea.
Oh my gosh, so much.
Can't wait. Thank you so much.